My name is John Griffin. I'm a 31-year-old office worker. I have a brother who is 7 years older than me. My parents were always busy, so it was my brother, Michael, who really cared about me. Since Michael was much older than me, he always treated me as if I were precious to him, putting me first. But he wasn't just indulgent. He was also the kind of person who reprimands me when necessary. As a result, I've become quite the brother's boy. Even from my perspective as his younger brother, Michael was an exceptional person. He always had top grades and was incredibly athletic. When he taught me, he was always clear and easy to understand. Michael, you are truly amazing. John, you're pretty amazing too. You catch on quickly and have a high comprehension ability, so you remember everything in no time. Eager to live up to my admirable brother's expectations, I've been striving hard every day. As a result, I managed to land a job at my current company. By the way, it's not that I have a bad relationship with our parents. I think it's pretty typical. And the one who has always supported me is my childhood friend, Ashley. John, your calm nature is one of your strengths. Really? Do you think so? Yes, I do, and that's what I love about you. She's always been quick to notice whenever I was troubled or lacked confidence about myself, and she would say that to encourage me. Ashley has always been by my side as a childhood friend. Now, she's by my side as my wife. And now, Ashley is carrying our cherished child, and I am building a happy family together. I think the atmosphere at the company where I work is very good. Everyone is friendly and supportive, helping each other out. Whenever I have some free time, I actively offer my help. I'm truly glad to be working at this company. Instead of chatting, get back to work. Except for just one person. The moment department manager, Elizabeth, appears, the warm and friendly atmosphere turns tense. She was recently transferred to our department due to a personal change. I graduated from a prestigious university, you know. You lowly folks should just follow my orders. Elizabeth seems quite proud of her academic background, bringing it up at every opportunity. It appears she's been asking everybody about their educational background. In doing so, she seems to have concluded that she is the most highly educated among us. I'm more concerned about work performance than academic credentials, so I wish she would focus on her work instead of boasting about her educational background. What university did you graduate from? And then, she asked me about my educational background. It was a busy period, and I was already finding her troublesome. I didn't graduate the university in the States, anyway. What, are you just a high school graduate? No way. Being a high school graduate these days means you're incompetent, aren't you? I tried to brush her off and get back to work quickly, but Elizabeth just assumed I was a high school graduate and started mocking me. I don't usually mind such things. People have different opinions, after all. Besides, Elizabeth believes that she, being a prestigious university graduate, is the most important and correct, and she doesn't need to listen to anyone with lower educational background. So, if she just looked down on me, I could ignore it, but... Hey you, the low-educated. Finish this job by tomorrow. Wait, Elizabeth, isn't this your job? And the deadline is supposed to be next week. Since you're incompetent, all you need to do is follow my orders. It's troublesome when she dumps her work on me and harasses me like this. My colleagues helped me through it, but the atmosphere in the department had turned tense and uncomfortable. John, are you okay? You seem a bit tired. As soon as I got home, I let out a sigh, and Ashley asked me about it. She works at the same company but is currently on maternity leave and unaware of the situation at work. I wanted her to focus on preparing for the baby, but I decided to vent a little. Actually, I've been targeted by someone troublesome, and she has been dumping her work on me. That sounds tough. If you want, I'm here to listen to more details. Taking advantage of her kindness, I ended up telling her almost everything about Elizabeth. I never imagined that our conversation would be passed on to someone else. John, can we talk for a second? Sure, what's up? One day at work, my brother, Michael, called out to me. Both Michael and I had moved out of our parents' house, and since we work in different departments and hold different positions, we rarely get the chance to talk. Even though we keep in touch regularly, I was puzzled why he chose this moment to talk. I heard quite a bit from Ashley. I couldn't help but smile wryly at his words. Ashley has been my childhood friend, which has also led to her having a close relationship with my brother. There's no romantic interest between them, and I worry about nothing because Michael is deeply in love with his wife. To avoid any misunderstandings, they've made a point of not meeting without me and my sister-in-law present, and they always show me any communication they have, just to be thorough. Now, he's showing me their messages exchanged as he speaks. I think it's a bit much, though. If you need me, I'm willing to step in. It's okay. Talking to Ashley made me feel a lot better, and for now, I'd like to see how things play out. Is that so? I smiled at my concerned brother and declined his generous offer. After that, we chatted about other things before parting ways. Hey, Elizabeth. Why is someone as incompetent as you getting cozy with Michael? Out of nowhere, Elizabeth confronted me, having apparently been watching us. Is she close to my brother? Weren't they almost 10 years apart in age? You have no right to casually talk to Michael. Stay away from him from now on. I have a question. What exactly is your relationship with him? We used to be in the same department. Well, I plan to make him mine someday. At those words, I couldn't help but widen my eyes in surprise. Is she aiming to make my brother her romantic partner? With his handsome looks and excellence, he's just perfect for someone with a high education like me. You do know he's married, right? I've heard such rumors, but he doesn't wear a ring, does he? I tried to hint that he's married without saying he's my brother, but Elizabeth wouldn't believe it. Indeed, due to certain circumstances, Michael is living separately from his wife and isn't wearing a ring. So, I understand the misunderstanding, but I wish she would listen carefully to the voices around her too. Even when I tried to stop her there, she wouldn't listen, saying, "What would someone as incompetent as you know about him? Just stay away from him. You, the low-educated incompetent," refusing to hear anything else. Even if I said I was his brother, she probably wouldn't believe me, and even if she did, she'd likely say, "Then help me." After Elizabeth left, I found myself holding my head in dismay. Since then, I've been spending my days under Elizabeth's glaring watch. Moreover, her harassment intensified, leaving me wondering what to do. The current CEO is retiring, and a new CEO will be taking over. Consequently, the inauguration party is being organized. I'm attending the party too. I was among the first to receive an invitation. She seems to be over the moon, boasting about it. Basically, all employees were invited. Everyone knew it, but they kept quiet because speaking up would only cause trouble. You're jealous, aren't you? Yes, sure, I responded. Elizabeth smirked at my response. This gave me a bad feeling. For a few days following that, Elizabeth was unusually quiet, as if nothing had ever happened. Then, on the day of the party, due to some circumstances, I had to arrive at the venue early. What? There's no seat for me. After chatting with the new CEO, I tried to check my seat with the hotel staff, but the response I got was that there wasn't any. Confused, I turned around when I heard laughter behind me. Elizabeth. Ha ha ha, you look so foolish. Elizabeth pointed and laughed at me. I couldn't believe it, though. I had your seat removed," she admitted. "Why, how could you? The organizer for this party is actually my uncle, so I asked him to get rid of the seat for the low-educated." I was stunned that someone would actually do such a thing. As I stood there, flustered, I noticed someone looking at us in surprise. Their shocked expression actually helped me regain my composure. "There's no seat for the low-educated, so you should leave." In the center of the party venue inside a luxurious hotel, I let out a deep sigh at the words spoken there. Being looked down upon and constantly mentioned about my educational background, I had reached my limit of endurance. Maybe this was a good opportunity to set things straight. I glanced at the person behind Elizabeth, who was visibly angry. "Then, I'll be leaving." "Really? Well then." Elizabeth looked surprised at my easy agreement. However, that quickly changed to a triumphant expression. "Then hurry up and leave," she said. "I'll go even without being told." So, I left the hotel quickly, just as she wanted. Imagining what would happen next, I couldn't stop laughing. Now, I wonder what fate awaits Elizabeth, who knows nothing of this. As I was slowly enjoying my coffee, a call from Elizabeth came through on my phone. I smirked and answered the phone. From the other end, I could hear Elizabeth's panicked voice. "Please, come back right now. I had no idea that you were." I couldn't help but laugh at the clearly distraught Elizabeth. "Did you not expect me to be the brother of the new CEO, Mr. Griffin, and the son of the former CEO, Mr. Griffin?" Indeed, the new CEO was my brother, Michael. He was also the one who had witnessed our earlier interaction. I glanced at my brother because I wanted him to stay silent until the party started. Otherwise, my brother might have ended up scolding Elizabeth right there. So, I sent him a look, asking him to keep quiet in that moment. "Unfortunately for you, Elizabeth, I indeed am the son of the former CEO, Mr. Griffin. Our father, the former CEO, Mr. Griffin, is a remarkable man whom both my brother and I deeply respect. One day, we discovered that he had fallen sick. Although he didn't have to be hospitalized, he did need to make regular visits to the doctor for a while. The question arose, who would take care of him? Both my brother and I were busy with work, and our mother had recently injured her leg. It was my sister-in-law who stepped up. Being a former doctor, she moved in with our parents to care for them. Of course, we also visited them regularly, and above all, my brother frequently traveled between our parents' home and his own home. My brother didn't move in with our parents because he's busy with taking over as CEO, often coming home late at night, so he frequently returns to his own place, which is closer to the office. For these reasons, it currently feels as though they are living separately. Additionally, my brother has a metal allergy, which is why he doesn't wear a ring. This isn't a secret, most executives are aware, so it's not something we openly declare. Most of the executives knew I was part of the Griffin family, so I never felt the need to mention it to Elizabeth specifically. Really? Well, you probably wouldn't have listened to me anyway. This party was not only to celebrate my brother officially becoming CEO, but also to announce our father's recovery and to introduce my sister-in-law as his wife to the entire company. And there, I was to be introduced as his brother and also to be introduced as someone who would become his right-hand man in the future. However, Elizabeth's action of sending me away disrupted the plans, turning the event into an opportunity to reprimand her instead. While on the phone with Elizabeth, I opened a messaging app and saw a message from my brother, "Come back." So, I stood up and left the cafe. In fact, I didn't go back home. Instead, I waited while having coffee at a nearby coffee shop. This allowed me to return to the venue quickly. "Sorry to keep you waiting." As I entered, all eyes turned to me. While receiving such gazes, I headed towards where my brother and the others were. Well, you must have hard time, John. There was my brother, smiling broadly, and Elizabeth, looking like she might cry. Seeing me, Elizabeth immediately began to apologize profusely. I'm truly sorry. I can't accept your apology. I won't forgive you. Without looking at Elizabeth, I responded and smiled at my brother and the others. Sorry for the trouble. Don't worry about it. My brother easily forgave me as I apologized. Then, he pointed at Elizabeth. It seemed he was giving me the chance to fight back against her before he enacts any punishment. I nodded with a smile and turned back to Elizabeth. I'm not forgiving you because of the disrespect you showed to Griffin's family, but for what you did to me personally. I'm so sorry. You're only apologizing because I'm part of the Griffin family, right? If I were the low-educated incompetent you mentioned, you wouldn't apologize, would you? Upon hearing that, Elizabeth's face turned pale. Oh, there was it. I need to make sure to correct that part as well. By the way, I'm not a high school graduate. What? I graduated from high school in the States, but went abroad for university. Abroad? I haven't heard that from you before. Didn't I say I didn't graduate from university in the States? Elizabeth's eyes widened at my words. I'm not as exceptional as my brother, but I'm fairly accomplished in my own right. That's why I went abroad right after graduating from high school. Well, I don't go around bragging about my educational background like some people do. Such the low-educated incompetent, what would they? If I'm the low-educated incompetent, I wonder how excellent you must be. At that question, Elizabeth fell silent. Then, my brother stepped forward. We will consider the consequences of this incident carefully. At his words, Elizabeth's shoulders slumped in defeat. John, will you stay for the party? No, I'll be going home. I want to see my wife. I had planned to leave early after a brief introduction. After all, my pregnant wife, Ashley, was waiting for me at home, so I wanted to see her as soon as possible. Understanding this, my brother gave a wry smile, but this time I went home on my own accord. Hi honey, how was your day? You could have stayed a bit longer and enjoyed the party. The party is nothing compared to how important Ashley is to me. My beloved wife was waiting for me at home, and the thought brought a genuine smile to my face. I began to harbor special feelings for Ashley during our high school days. Back then, I was deeply troubled. Though I now hold nothing but respect, I felt a terrible inferiority complex towards my family members. My brother was outstanding since our school days, and our father was the CEO, while our mother originally serving as his secretary. Born into such an elite family, I felt almost crushed by the pressure. I have nothing. That's not true. You're amazing in your own way. My grades aren't even close to my brother's, and I've never been recognized in sports. You and your brother are different. Besides, you have something unique that only you possess. I had no confidence, feeling as though I had nothing to offer and that those around me looked down on me. Of course, no one had actually said that to me. My family, especially my brother, made time for me despite their busy schedules, but as an adolescent, I wasn't able to fully appreciate it. Ashley was the one who comforted and supported me through those times. She, who always had kind words for me, gradually became a special presence in my life. Thank you for everything, Ashley. It's nothing. I just can't leave you alone. Saying so, she supported me through countless times when I was on the verge of giving up. I've always struggled with expressing anger. Getting angry was exhausting, and avoiding confrontation seemed much easier. Because of my nature, I was often underestimated and entangled by others, leveraging my status as the CEO's son. If anyone messes with John, they'll have to deal with me. Ashley would stand up for me, driving those troublemakers away. Even if it meant getting hurt, she stayed by my side. I wanted to protect her, who has been so supportive. With that thought, I resolved to become stronger both mentally and physically, and accepted the offer to study abroad that my father had proposed. Aren't you going to tell Ashley? No, and don't you say anything unnecessary, okay? I left for overseas without telling Ashley anything. If she had found someone else by the time I returned, I decided I would give up. With that thought, I graduated successfully and was greeted at the airport by Ashley and my brother. "Welcome back, John." After she said that, I confessed my love to her, and we began dating. Eventually, we got married, and now she's carrying our first child. Hey, Ashley, thanks for everything. What are you suddenly talking about? You talked to my brother, right? That's how I was able to fight back. So, of course, you've been special to me since we were kids. I can forgive anyone who hurts you. Ashley said with a smile. I still have a lot to learn, it seems. To be protected by the person I wish to protect, how ironic. In return, make sure both our child and I are exceptionally happy, okay? Of course, I will. I firmly promise to make a happy life for Ashley and our future together. The next day at work, Elizabeth was nowhere to be seen. I learned from my brother about Elizabeth's circumstances. She was indeed transferred to our department due to a personnel change, but in reality, she was moved here because she had caused problems elsewhere. The issue was her stalking behavior towards my brother. It came to light through reports from my brother and others around him, and under normal circumstances, termination would have been considered. But unfortunately, my father's illness was discovered around the same time. Due to the sudden need to undertake the handover process, the matter was overlooked, and in the meantime, Max, the executive vice president, and her uncle, covered it up. The matter was settled with just a departmental transfer. You should have told me. I didn't want to worry you. You've always been gentle, not the type to lash out, but you worry enough to make yourself sick. That's irrelevant now, isn't it? I'm known for being too gentle and mild-mannered, according to those around me. Just because I don't get angry easily, doesn't mean I think I'm too gentle. So, what happened to Elizabeth and Max, the executive vice president? Both of them are currently suspended. Well, consider it a brief respite. My brother is very capable, but perhaps because of that, he shows no mercy. Anyone who has angered him in the past has faced severe consequences. I thought about Elizabeth's future. As a result, Elizabeth and Max were transferred to a newly established branch, effectively a demotion in disguise. The location is a remote island with surveillance, making escape impossible. However, the primary task is sorting emails that come from the main office. Beyond that, there's basically no work or entertainment. However, they had to work as a form of compensation for the trouble they caused us. I wonder how much stress they're under now. With those thoughts in mind, I get on with my own work. Due to this incident, I was appointed as the department head, an unusual promotion. Fortunately, since Elizabeth had already been delegating her work to me, I was able to take over without any issues. Keep up the good work and climb the ladder. You're going to be my right-hand man someday. To live up to my brother's expectations, I'm continually working on improving myself. Years later, we now have 2 children. My brother doesn't have any kids, but he dotes on ours. Pursue the path you love. You don't have to force yourself to go to college, and on the other hand, it's okay to study abroad. But never forget to be considerate of others. Education doesn't determine everything. Make sure to see people for who they truly are. That's what we teach our children. I don't know what paths they'll take in the future, and they might struggle like I did. Even so, I'm determined to protect them together with Ashley.